of you, welcome back. Today's is the last class of wave optics. We wave optics in the last class. Our theory part is done. Theory part we completely finished our theory side. So today we are doing problems. Okay. So today is the last class for wave optics. So let's do the problems. Well, first we will do simple problems. The frequency of a light wave in a material is 2 into 10 raised to 14 hertz and wavelength is 5000 angstrom. Wavelength is 5000 angstrom. The refractiveness of the material will be the refractive index of the material will be refractiveness of the material will be dash. We have to find out the refractiveness of the material. So that is our task. So frequency and wavelength is given. We have to find out what refractive index of the material. That is our task. That is the thing we have to do. Now we know that what is velocity? What is the relation between refractiveness? Refractiveness is equal to velocity of light in vacuum divided by velocity of light in medium. N is equal to C by V. Velocity of light in vacuum divided by velocity of light in medium. That is equation. So, what is the data given? Velocity of light wave in a material is given and wavelength is given. So, this value V equal to, we know that V equal to nu lambda. So, N is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 8 because speed of light is what? 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by, instead of nu lambda, I can write 2 into 10 raised to 14 nu into wavelength is what? 5000 angstrom. If I substitute, I will get the value refractive index as what? 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by 2 into 10 raised to 14 into 5000 into 10 raised to minus 10. Okay, so it becomes what? 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by 2 into 5, 10 raised to 14 is there, then 10 raised to 3 is there, into 10 raised to minus 10. So it becomes what? 3 into 10 raised to 8 divided by 10 raised to 15, 10 raised to 18 into 10 raised to minus 10. So it becomes what? 3 into 10 raised to 8 divided by 10 raised to 8. So 8 gone. What is the refractive index? 3. Any doubt? Good evening, Shifana, Vandana, Arya, Aishwarya, Anjana, Roshna, Aishwarya, Anshri, Drishya, Srinanda, Jishnu, Anaga, Nimisha, all of you, good evening. എല്ലാവരും കേൾക്കേണ്ടതെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കണം. നമ്മൾ എന്ത് സോൾവ് ചെയ്തു? കണ്ടുപിടിച്ചു. We have found out refractive index as 3. Any doubt? Doubt ഉണ്ടോ? Refractive index എത്രയാ? 3 ആണ്. അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ സിമിലർ ടൈപ്പ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആണ്. നെക്സ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, the refractive index of water is 1.33. What will be the speed of light in water? what will be speed of light in water? Speed of light in water. Refractiveness of water is given. We have to find out speed of light in water. We know that N equal to what? C by V. Refractiveness is equal to speed of light in vacuum divided by speed of light in medium. So speed of light in water is equal to what? C divided by refractiveness of water. What is C? 3 into 10 to the power 8. Divided by refractiveness of water is what? 1.33. If you solve this data, you will get what? Speed of light in water. If you solve this data, you will get speed of light in water, which is 2.25 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second, which is the speed of light in water. Any doubt? See the Good evening, Abhay Krishna. Good evening. Later, Lodani. Wagon Uti. Note the random problem. Note the next. Next problem. Green light of wavelength. Green light of wavelength 5460 angstrom. 5460 angstrom is incident on a glass air interface. Refractiveness of glass is 1.5. Wavelength of light in glass is what? What is refractiveness? Wavelength in vacuum divided by wavelength in medium. I hope you remember this formula. So what we have to find out? Wavelength in glass. Wavelength in glass is equal to wavelength in vacuum divided by refractive index. Any doubt? Refractiveness is already given. What is the refractiveness given? It is what? 1.5. Refractiveness is given is what? 1.5. Any doubt? You can do it yourself. Wavelength in vacuum is what? 5460 angstrom divided by refractiveness is what? 1.5. So 5460 into 10 raised to minus 10 divided by 1.5. If you solve that, you will get the answer 3640 angstrom. Options are in angstrom unit, so you don't need to do the unit conversion. Option can be in angstrom only. So answer is 3640 angstrom. Any doubt? Doubt in the equation makkale marakalle refractiveness no ayo. Refractiveness no ornenda. What is refractiveness? Wavelength in vacuum divided by wavelength in medium. Marakalle. Chandana, good evening. Fatima Fasila, good evening. Good evening, good evening. Nartha vata late ആയിട്ട് വരില്ലേ മനസ്സിലാവില്ല. നോട്ട് ചെയ്യട്ടോ. അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. Time taken by sunlight, to pass through a window of thickness 4 millimeter, whose refractive index is 3/2. Whose refractive index is 3/2 is dash. We have to find out the time. What is speed? Speed equal to distance by time. Speed equal to distance by time. So time is equal to what? Distance by speed. Time is equal to distance by speed. So distance is what? Time is equal to distance is what? It is given. Thickness 4 millimeters. So 4 into 10 raised to minus 3 divided by speed we don't know. But I know that refractive index is equal to speed of light in vacuum divided by speed of light in medium. So speed of light in medium is equal to C by N. So what is C? 3 into 10 raised to 8 divided by N is what? Refractive index is what? 3/2. See, instead of speed, I am writing what? I am using the equation V equal to C by N. So instead of speed of light, I am using 3 into 10 raised to 8. Instead of refractive index, I am using 3/2. So time is equal to 4 into 10 raised to minus 3 divided by 3 into 10 raised to 8 into 2/3. Any doubt? Any doubt? Solve ചെയ്യാട്ടോ. Three by 2 is what? 1.5. So 3 by 1.5 is what? 2. So you will get directly the answer. No, actually there is a problem. Here 4 into 10 raised to minus 3 by 3 into 10 raised to 8 by 3/2. So by 3/2 is what? By 1.5. 1.5 and 3 becomes what? 2. 2 gone. So what is answer? What is answer? 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 into 10 raised to 8. What is answer? 2 into 10 raised to minus 11. 2 into 10 raised to minus 11 seconds is answer. അവിടെ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കണേ, 3 into 10 raised to 8 by 3/2. What is 3/2? 1.5. 3 by 1.5 is what? 2. then that 2 cancels with the denominator 4 and there will be 1 2 left on the denominator. So 2 into 10 raised to minus 3, then 10 raised to 8 goes to the numerator, it becomes 10 raised to minus 8. So what is answer? 2 into 10 raised to minus 11 seconds. Doubt now? Same answer തന്നെ വരണേ. ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടോ? ചെയ്താ മക്കളെ മനസ്സിലാവണ്ട? ചെയ്യുന്നില്ലേ? കമന്റ് ഒന്നും വരണില്ലല്ലോ. അപ്പൊ നീ അവിടെ ഇല്ലേ? നീയാണ് എപ്പോഴും കമന്റ് ചെയ്യണ ആള്. കിട്ടണില്ലേ? പ്രോബ്ലം തുടങ്ങിയ പിന്നെ ഒച്ച കണക്കൊക്കെ കുറയും. വന്ദന ക്ലിയർ ആണ്. ബാക്കിയുള്ളവർ എന്താ മിണ്ടാത്തെ? നോട്ട് ചെയ്യട്ടോ. സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ഇവിടെയാണ്. ഇവിടെ സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് എന്താ റെസ്പോൺസിബിൾ? കഴിഞ്ഞ നോട്ട് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞില്ലേ? ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടോ? ഇനി അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. ratio of intensities of two waves are given by 4:1. What is the ratio of the amplitude? What is the amplitude ratio? Very simple question. What is the amplitude ratio? Amplitude ratio എന്താണ്? What is the equation connecting them? Intensity directly proportional to square of amplitude. So I1 by I2 is equal to what? A1 square by A2 square. Given I1 by I2 is what? 4 by 1 is equal to A1 square by A2 square. So A1 by A2 is equal to what? Root 4 by 1. So A1 by A2 is equal to what? 2 by 1 or 2:1. Any doubt? Any doubt? അല്ല, ഇന്റൻസിറ്റി എന്താ? ഇന്റൻസിറ്റി is directly proportional to square of the amplitude. നമ്മൾ ചെക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള മുമ്പ് അല്ലേ? എപ്പോഴും എൻട്രൻസിന് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ വരുന്നൊരു പോർഷൻ ആട്ടത്. എൻട്രൻസ് അല്ല, അത് മാത്രമല്ല നമ്മുടെ ബോർഡിനാണെങ്കിൽ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റീവ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യനിൽ വരും. ഒബ്ജക്റ്റീവ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസിൽ വരുന്ന ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആണ് അത്. ഇനി അടുത്തത് interference is possible only in first option sound wave, second option light wave, third option both sound and light wave, both sound and light wave, both sound and light wave, and the last option neither light or sound. Which is the correct option? Which is the correct option? Interference സൗണ്ടിലും ഉണ്ട് ലൈറ്റിലും ഉണ്ട്, രണ്ടിലും interference നടക്കൂട്ടാ. Both sound and light wave. Remember, interference happens both in sound and light waves. Interference will happen. ഇത് ഓർക്കണം കേട്ടോ. ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടോ? Option 3 is the right answer. Both sound and light wave. Interference sound light നടക്കൂട്ടോ. നോട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നോ? അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ചെയ്താ നിങ്ങളുടെ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ആയാ? അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ in YDSC in Young's double-slit experiment, if separation between coherent sources is halved, coherent sources is HLVD halved, and the distance to screen from coherent source is doubled, from coherent source is doubled, comma, then the fringe width becomes, fringe width becomes dash. Option double, fourth, 4 times, half, 1/4. It is the correct answer. So what is the equation for fringe width? Beta is equal to d lambda by d. What happens here? Again I am telling you, this is monochromatic source S1, S2 act as what? Coherent sources. This distance is what? Small letter d. Distance between coherent source and screen is what? Capital letter D. So what happens here? Distance between separation between coherent source is halved. So B equal to d lambda by, instead of small letter d, I should write d by 2. And the distance between screen from coherent source is doubled. So it is what? 2d. So beta equal to what? This 2 moves to numerator. So 4d lambda by d. So what is the correct answer? It becomes 4 times. So beta dash is equal to 4 times original beta. Any doubt? It is 2020 NEET question. 2020 NEET question. നോട്ട് ചെയ്യാം കേട്ടോ. നോട്ട് ചെയ്യാം. നോട്ടില്ലല്ലോ. അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ അവിടെ എഴുതാം സൈഡിൽ. അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഐ തിങ്ക് യു ക്യാൻ ഡു ഇറ്റ് യുവർ സെൽഫ്. തന്നെ ചെയ്യാവുന്ന ക്വസ്റ്റ്യനാ. ലെറ്റ് സീ. 2 slits in YDSE, two slits in YDSE have width in the ratio 1:25. 1:25. The ratio of intensity at the maxima and minima in the interference pattern Imax by Iminima is dash. Imax by Iminima is dash. Remember, what is the equation connecting all these terms? I1, intensity ratio I1 by I2 is equal to what? Width ratio W1 by W2 is equal to what? Square of amplitude ratio. Always remember this. Intensity ratio is equal to what? Width ratio. That is equal to what? Square of amplitude ratio. Always you should remember this equation. But what is the data given? Width ratio is given. Given W1 by W2 is equal to what? 1/25 or 1:25. Width ratio is given. So that means A1 square by A2 square is equal to what? 1/25. So A1 by A2 is what? A1 by A2 is equal to what? Root of 1/25. So A1 by A2 is equal to what? 1/5. So amplitude ratio is what? 1/5. Now we have to find out Imax to Iminimum. Imax to Iminimum. What is the equation for Imax? Maximum intensity happens A1 plus A2 the whole square, and minimum intensity happens when A1 minus A2 the whole square. Always remember, maximum intensity happens when A1 plus A2 the whole square, minimum intensity A1 minus A2 the whole square. So if you take A1 common, what will happen? A1 by A2 plus 1 the whole square. Denominator what happens? A1 by A2 minus 1 the whole square. Because why I am going for that method? Because I know A1 by A2. So what is A1 by A2? 1/5 plus 1 the whole square divided by 1/5 minus 1 the whole square. So what is 1/5 plus 1? 6/5 the whole square. What is 1/5 minus 1? Minus 4/5 the whole square. If you solve that, it will be 36/16 or 9/4. Any doubt? So what is the ratio? 9:4. 9:4. That is the intensity ratio. മക്കളെ മനസ്സിലായോ? അവിടെ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കണേ, maximum intensity is what? A1 plus A2 the whole square. Minimum intensity is what? A1 minus A2 the whole square. In that equation, I am taking A1 common. So dividing the numerator and denominator by A2. So A1 by A2 plus 1 the whole square divided by A1 minus A2 minus 1 the whole square. Why I am doing that? Because I already know the amplitude ratio. So if I do follow that method, I can simply substitute for A1 by A2. മനസ്സിലായോ? ക്ലിയർ ആണോ? ചെയ്യണ്ട നിങ്ങള്? നോട്ട് ചെയ്യട്ടാ, നോട്ട് ചെയ്യേ. ക്ലിയർ ആണ്? നോട്ട് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാ? നോട്ട് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അടുത്ത പ്രോബ്ലം ചെയ്യാം. കഴിഞ്ഞോ? അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. Colors appear on a thin film. Colors appear on a thin soap film. Thin soap film and on soap bubble. And on soap bubble due to the phenomenon of due to the phenomenon of answer is interference. Answer interference. Note here. What is the reason behind that? Interference. The colored pattern on soap bubble and soap film is interference. Next, in YDSC, small letter distance between slit and screen doubled. Distance between slit and screen is doubled. Screen is doubled. Separation between coherent sources reduced to 1/8. Reduced to 1/8. What will be new fringe width? New fringe width. Beta equal to what? D lambda by D. So beta dash is equal to separate distance between slit and screen is doubled. So what happens? 2D lambda by D is what? It becomes D by 8. So beta dash is equal to 16 D lambda by D. That means what? Beta dash is equal to 16 times beta. 16 times original fringe width. Any doubt? Next, in YDSC, a student 2022 NEET question, a student observes 8 fringes in a certain segment in a certain segment of screen when a monochromatic light of 600 nanometer wavelength is used. If the wavelength of light is changed to, if the wavelength of light is changed to 400 nanometer. So wavelength is changing to 400 nanometer. Then the number of fringe width, then the number of fringes he would observe will be dash. Remember, here the first point is the number of fringes is inversely proportional to wavelength. That is the first point you should know. Number of fringes is inversely proportional to what? Wavelength. So n directly proportional to 1 by lambda. That is n lambda equal to constant. That means n1 lambda 1 is equal to n2 lambda 2. Now what are the data we have? 8 fringes in certain segment of when monochromatic light of 600 nanometer. So lambda 1 is equal to 600 nanometer and the number of fringes is what? N1 is equal to 8. Now lambda 2 is equal to what? 400 nanometer. What is N2? N2 equal to question mark. So N2 is equal to N1 lambda 1 by lambda 2. N1 is what? 8. Lambda 1 is 600 divided by lambda 2 is what? 400. So what is the answer? 48 by 4. Answer is 12. Since it is a number, no unit. Any doubt? Doubt now? Doubt na makkale? ആ പിള്ളേർ എവിടെയാ? കഴിഞ്ഞ എല്ലാവരും നോട്ട് ചെയ്താ? അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. In YDSC, two coherent sources are placed 0.90 millimeter apart, and fringes are observed 1 meter away. 1 meter away. If it produces a second dark fringe at a distance of 1 millimeter, from central fringe, the wavelength of monochromatic light used would be monochromatic light used would be dash. This is the question. See here, what are the top points we have? It is YDSC. Now coherent sources are placed at 0.90 meter apart. So that means small letter d is equal to 0.90 millimeter. Okay. And the fringes are observed 1 meter away. So capital letter D is equal to 1 meter. So this is 0.90 into 10 raised to minus 3. Okay. Produces a second dark fringe at a distance. Position of second dark fringe is what? 2n minus 1 d lambda by 2d, right? What is the position of dark fringe? Position of dark fringe is what? 2n minus 1 d lambda by 2d is the position for dark fringe. 2n minus 1 d lambda by 2d. So from this you should get what? Lambda. Second. And this position is given as what? If it produces second dark fringe at a distance of 1 millimeter from center bridge. So x is equal to 1 millimeter, that is 10 raised to minus 3 meter. So lambda is equal to what is the formula? 2dx divided by 2n minus 1 d lambda. 2n minus 1 d. So 2 into, what is d? 0.90 into 10 raised to minus 3 into x is what? 10 raised to minus 3 divided by 2 into second arc fringe. So n value is what? 2. So 2 into 2, 4, minus 1, 3 into capital letter D is what? 1. So if you solve that, your answer will be lambda is equal to 0.6 into 10 raised to minus 6 meter. If you solve that. Doubt in now? ഓർമ്മയുണ്ടാവണം പൊസിഷൻ ഓഫ് ഡാർക്ക് ഫ്രിഞ്ച് എന്താ 2n minus 1 d lambda by 2d. പൊസിഷൻ ഓഫ് ഡാർക്ക് ഫ്രിഞ്ച് എന്താ 2n minus 1 d lambda by 2d. അത് പഠിപ്പിച്ചു തന്നിട്ടുള്ളതാണ്. ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടോ? നോട്ട് ചെയ്യട്ടോ. Position of bright fringe is what? Position of bright fringe. Position of bright fringe. Xn is equal to n d lambda by d. Position of bright fringe n d lambda by d. മറക്കല്ലേ? നോട്ട് ചെയ്താ? ഇനി അടുത്തത്, in YDSC the slits are 2 millimeter apart and are illuminated by photons of wavelength lambda 1 is equal to 12,000 angstrom and lambda 2 is equal to 10,000 angstrom. At what minimum distance from the common central bright fringe on the screen on the bright fringe on the screen 2 meter from the slit will a bright fringe from one interference pattern coincide with a bright fringe from the other. അയ്യോ, ഒരുപാട് ലെങ്തി ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആണ്. ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക, നമ്മൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കേണ്ട പോയിന്റുകൾ എന്തൊക്കെയാ നോക്കാം. ആദ്യം ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക, what are the data we have? Let n1 bright fringe of lambda 1 coincides with n2 bright fringe of lambda 2. What is the concept here? Slits are separated with 2 millimeter apart. So small letter d is equal to what? 2 millimeter. That is 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter. Okay, that's fine. Are illuminated by photons of wavelength. 2 wavelength lambda 1 is given. Lambda 1 is equal to 12,000 angstrom. And lambda 2 is what? 10,000 angstrom. Okay, fine. Now, at what minimum distance from the common central bright fringe on the screen? 2 meter from the slit. That means cap letter D is equal to what? 2 meter. will a bright fringe from one interference pattern coincide with the bright fringe from the other? So position of bright fringe, that you should know. Position of bright fringe is what? Position of bright fringe is what? N d lambda by d. Xn is equal to what? N d lambda by d. This is the equation for position of bright fringe that we have discussed earlier, that we have done before. That is done before. Now let's see. They should coincide with each other means what? Both should be at the same position. That means N1 d lambda 1 by d is equal to N2 d lambda 2 by d. Why I am taking in that way? Because distance from slit and screen doesn't vary. So capital letter D remains the same. Small letter d also remains the same. So we can simply find out what is the ratio of N1 by N2. What is N1 by N2? N1 by N2 is equal to what? Capital letter D gets cancelled, small letter d gets cancelled. So N1 by N2 is equal to what? Lambda 2 by lambda 1. So what is lambda 2? Second case, 10,000 angstrom divided by lambda 1 is what? 12,000, right? That is lambda 1, 12,000 angstrom. So what is the ratio? 10 by 12. 10 by 12 means what? 5 by 6. So that is the ratio 5 by 6. So I am putting it in a box. N1 by N2 is equal to what? 5 by 6. N1 by N2 is 5 by 6. See, what is our requirement? What minimum distance? This is our requirement. What minimum distance we have to find out? Now, N1 by N2 is 5 by 6. So you can say N1 equal to 5. So X is equal to what? N d lambda by d. In the first case, if I consider X, instead of N1, I can write 5. D is what? D only. What is a D? 2 meter. Into what is the lambda in first case? 12,000 into 10 raised to minus 10 divided by 12,000 into 10 raised to minus 12,000 angstrom can be converted by small letter d is what? 2 into 10 raised to minus 3. So 2 gone. So 5 into 12, 60 into 10 raised to minus 7 into 10 raised to plus 3. So 60 into 10 raised to minus 4. So that is 6 into 10 raised to minus 3. That is 6 millimeter is the answer. It is 2013 NEET question. 2013 NEET question. It's a very simple problem once you know the concept. It is about position of bright fringe. So what is the equation for position for bright fringe? N d lambda by d. There are two different cases, but both should be at the same position. So we are equating N1 d lambda 1 by d small letter d is equal to N2 d lambda 2 by small letter d. From that equation, we have derived what is the value of N1 and N2. N1 by N2 is equal to what? 5 by 6. So we are putting N1 as 5. So when you consider position x equal to n d lambda by d, put n1 equal to 5. Capital letter D, we already know it is 2. Lambda in the first case, lambda 1 is what? 12,000 angstrom, that converted to meter. 12,000 into 10 raised to minus 10 divided by small letter d is what? 2 millimeter, that is also converted. And I got the answer 6 millimeter. It's a previous 2013 NEET question. മനസ്സിലായോ? ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടാ? ലെങ്തി പ്രോബ്ലം ആണ്, പക്ഷെ നന്നായി മനസ്സിലാക്കിയാൽ ഈ ടൈപ്പ് എല്ലാം ചെയ്യാൻ കിട്ടും. Kanya, all of you done? Completed? So next question. നമ്മൾ ചെയ്തതാ. Now let's see some application level questions. Yellow light is used in a single slit diffraction experiment with a slit width of 0.6 millimeter. What is the slit width? 0.6 millimeter. If yellow light is replaced by X-ray, how will the diffraction pattern be affected? As the wavelength of X-ray is much smaller than that of yellow light, so the diffraction pattern is lost when the yellow light is replaced by X-ray. Why? I hope you remember the VIBGYOR, GXU, then what? Visible, that is VIBGYOR. Instead of visible, we have VIBGYOR. Then what? GXU, WIMMER, infrared, microwave, radio wave. So, actually, what was the original thing? Originally, they were using yellow light. That yellow light is replaced with the X-ray. It is what order? It is descending order. In the case of wavelength, it is what? It is what ratio? Gamma rays are having highest frequency, that is lowest wavelength. So, it is ascending order of wavelength. Ascending order of wavelength. So, from this data, we are understanding that X-rays are having what? Very small wavelength or very small wavelength. So, what happens when yellow light is replaced with the X-ray, wavelength is reduced to a large extent. As the wavelength of X-ray is much smaller than that of yellow light, so the diffraction pattern is lost. If wavelength becomes too small, diffraction pattern will be lost. Okay, so there will not be any diffraction if yellow light is replaced with the X-ray. മനസ്സിലായോ? Doubt now. Note ചെയ്താ? Next question. Next question. The fringe width in YDSC interference pattern is 2.4. So fringe width is given 2.4 into 10 raised to minus 4 meter. When red light of wavelength 6400 angstrom is used, by how much will it change if blue light of wavelength 4000 angstrom is used? Answer is very simple. Beta 1 is given, lambda 1 is given, lambda 2 is given. We have to find out what? Beta 2. So beta 2 is by beta 1 is equal to what? Beta equal to what? Beta is equal to d lambda by d. So beta 2 is equal to what? D lambda 2 by d divided by beta 1 is what? D lambda 1 by d. So beta 2 by beta 1 is equal to d lambda 2 by d into d by d lambda 1. So d gone, d gone. So beta 2 by beta 1 is equal to what? Lambda 2 by lambda 1. Any doubt? Beta 2 by beta 1 is equal to lambda 2 by lambda 1. So beta 2 is equal to this much we got. So beta 2 is equal to 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 4 meter. Decrease in fringe width will be what? Original fringe width minus new fringe width, that is equal to 0.9 into 10 raised to minus 4 meter. Any doubt? Doubt na? Okay. കഴിഞ്ഞോ? എല്ലാവർക്കും കിട്ടിയെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുന്നു. അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. സെയിം ടൈപ്പ് ആണേ, സെയിം ടൈപ്പ് തന്നെ ചെയ്യണം, സെയിം ടൈപ്പ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ തന്നെ ചെയ്യണം. Yellow light of wavelength 6000. Yellow light of wavelength 6000 angstrom produces fringes of width 0.8 millimeter in Young's double-slit experiment. What will be the fringe width if the light source is replaced by another monochromatic source of wavelength 7500 angstrom and the separation between slit is doubled? Here separation between the slit is doubled, so in beta 2 instead of d we are writing 2d. Beta 1 d lambda 1 by d, but beta 2 is what? D lambda 2 by 2d. Why 2d? Because in the question it is given that slit width is what? Doubled. കഴിഞ്ഞോ? Is it done? ചെയ്തോ? Completed ആണോ? Please respond. Completed ആണോ? നോട്ട് ചെയ്തില്ലേ? ഇനി അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ തന്നെ ചെയ്യാം. ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. ലേസർ ലൈറ്റ് ഓഫ് വേവ് ലെങ്ത് wavelength 630 nanometer incident on a pair of slits produces an interference pattern in which bright fringes are separated by 8.1 millimeter. A second light produces an interference pattern in which fringes are separated by 7.2 millimeter. Calculate the wavelength of the second light. So here two different wavelength lights are used, having two different wavelengths, and each produces a fringe width of different value. So we know that beta equal to d lambda by d. In these two cases, capital letter D and small letter d are same. So beta 2 by beta 1 is equal to what? Lambda 2 by lambda 1. In these type of problems, you should use this logic. Beta 2 by beta 1 is equal to what? Lambda 2 by lambda 1. So what is the data that is missing? Lambda 2. So lambda 2 is equal to what? Beta 2 by beta 1 into lambda 1. If you solve that, you will get 560 nanometer. See why we are not concerned about the screen distance and the distance between coherent source, because we are changing the lights only. So capital letter D and small letter d will remain the same. So when you calculate the ratio, you can eliminate capital letter D and small letter d. So beta 2 by beta 1 is equal to what? Lambda 2 by lambda 1. Beta 2 by beta 1 is equal to lambda 2 by lambda 1. Any doubt? See. Any doubt? Complete ആകട്ടെ എല്ലാവരും. So ഞാൻ ഇന്ന് നിർത്തുകയാണ് ഇവിടെ. So we are done with wave optics. We have done almost all the problems related to wave optics. Next class I will be starting nuclei. So thank you students. Good evening. Good night. Have a nice weekend. Thank you.
Produces an interference